Jerry Kearns was an attorney, a legislator and a judge from Vigo County. He was a great public servant. Served in the legislature, I think, for about 12 years. He served 2 different times. He was in there for, I think, maybe 4 years, and then decided to help his brother run for prosecutor and dropped out for a few years. Then came back in 1986 and ran for the legislature. I was running for the county council at the time, so we became real good friends and ran together. In the legislature, you know, you develop a reputation on issues and on your vote and the bills you carry and so on. And Jerry's reputation was very strong. He supported public education and teachers. He supported working men and women. He supported senior citizens. And Jerry was a kind and compassionate person and always was trying to do things to help those people who needed help. And I think that's his reputation, and I think that's a pretty good reputation to have as a legislator. Jerry loved to quote Harry Truman, and so when he'd make speeches, he would always have a quote that he would use about Harry Truman in his speech. He was just unique that way, and was a great speaker, and could just, you know, continue to speak on issues for a long time. Carried a lot of important bills when he was in the legislature. Pat Bauer, who was a good friend of his when Jerry served, and Pat later became speaker, but was not speaker when Jerry was there. And Pat and I shared an office in Indianapolis before I left the legislature, and Pat liked to tell stories about Jerry when he was there. And one that I've heard from Pat and from several others involved a debate he got into with Representative Boddicker from Richmond. And evidently, Representative Boddicker had gone to the podium, and in his speech he had talked about Richmond. There was a place near Richmond that was the highest level of elevation in Indiana. And Jerry took issue with that. So Jerry went up to the microphone and said, "No, that's not right. Representative Boddicker's not right. The highest level of elevation in Indiana is down on Marion Bluff, south of Terre Haute." And so that debate went on for some time, and it was kind of legendary in that they were talking about the elevation of point of elevation in Indiana rather than laws. But Jerry was a great public servant. His family, of course, was involved in public service. His brother, Mike, who was a good friend of mine, was a prosecutor and later was a federal bankruptcy judge for Indiana. You know, when I think about Jerry, I think of a person who was kind of a political giant in Vigo County and some people, a person that people looked up to, and that, you know, he's really going to be missed. I think about Jerry as the dean of the Indiana legislature in that when I was elected, I knew nothing about the legislature. And I'd call on Jerry, and Jerry would fill me in on what was happening and how to approach things and so on. And he was willing to share his knowledge with newly elected legislators. And I'm sure that Tanya Paff has talked to him since she was elected about what was going on in the legislature. But he's just a really great person. Like I said before, he's a compassionate person who had a great feeling for his elected office, whichever one it was, and he's really going to be missed.